A lone figure stands before a golden temple, his voice echoing through the desert. I am the living God. The sun burns behind him as thousands bow in silence, not out of devotion but fear. Who was this man who dared to call himself divine? And why did his own people turn against him? More than 3,000 years ago, Egypt was the most powerful kingdom on earth. Its rulers, the Pharaohs, were not just kings. They were believed to be the bridge between humans and gods. But one pharaoh took that belief further than anyone before him. His name was Akhenaten, born Amenhotep IV. Around 1350 BCE, he stood before his court and proclaimed, "There is only one God, and I am his chosen form." His words shook the foundation of Egypt's ancient faith and began a revolution that would rewrite history. This story matters because it's not just about one pharaoh's ego. It's about power, faith, and the dangerous line between belief and control, a lesson that echoes through every age of human history. At first, Akhenaten ruled from Thebes, like his ancestors. But within his first few years on the throne, something changed. He rejected Egypt's many gods, especially Amun, the most powerful deity of them all. He declared the sun disk, Aten, as the only true god. Lower third, 1353 BCE, Akhenaten's religious decree. He changed his name from Amenhotep, meaning Amun is satisfied, to Akhenaten, servant of Aten. Then came a bold move no one expected. Akhenaten ordered the construction of a new capital city, far from Thebes, a sacred place dedicated entirely to Aten. He called it Akhetaten, the horizon of the sun. Thousands of workers carved temples directly into the desert cliffs. No idols, no shadows, only open sunlight. As the years passed, Akhenaten's beliefs grew more extreme. He closed temples of other gods, confiscated their wealth, and forced priests to abandon centuries of worship. To his people, it felt like the end of the world they knew. For nearly 17 years he ruled this way, worshipping Aten as the one divine power and presenting himself as Aten's living image. In his city of sunlight, he and his queen, Nefertiti, were depicted not as gods above men, but as a family touched by the light of creation. But beneath the surface, resentment grew. Egypt's priests lost power, its economy weakened, and old alliances began to crumble. Much of what we know about Akhenaten's fall comes from fragments, tomb inscriptions, city ruins, and later records written by the pharaohs who erased his name. Card 1. Royal Decree Fragments. Year 17 of Akhenaten's reign. Source: Luxor Excavation, 1922. These fragments suggest the pharaoh's health was failing and the court was unstable. Some texts mention internal conflict, but details remain lost. Card 2. Tutankhamun's Restoration. Stela. Source: Cairo Museum, 1905. After Akhenaten's death, his son Tutankhamun, originally named Tutankhaten, restored the old gods. The stela records how the temples of the gods had fallen into ruin and how the young king made them rise again. Card 3. Amarna Letters. Document clay tablets, circa 1350 BCE. Diplomatic messages between Egypt and foreign rulers show that under Akhenaten, Egypt ignored military threats from its allies, possibly due to his obsession with religion. Visual, close-up of Amarna tablets, translated lines fading in. Historians believe Akhenaten's rule weakened Egypt's empire. When he died, the royal court quickly abandoned Amarna, his city of light, leaving it buried under centuries of sand. Source: British Museum Archives, 1931. Info card: What We Know. Akhenaten's religious revolution, unconfirmed, cause of death. Not all scholars agree on Akhenaten's motives. Some say he was a visionary, perhaps the world's first monotheist, long before modern faiths arose. Source: Oxford Egyptology Review, 2019. Others argue he was a tyrant who used religion to destroy his enemies and consolidate power. Source: National Geographic, 2017. There's even debate over his death. No tomb has been definitively confirmed as his. Some think he was quietly overthrown by generals and priests who restored the old order. Others believe he died naturally and his reforms collapsed without him. The truth, buried beneath centuries of royal propaganda and lost records, may never be fully known. For ordinary Egyptians, Akhenaten's revolution was deeply unsettling. Farmers who once prayed to Osiris for good harvests now had no temples left. Families who honored household gods had to hide their rituals in secret. The music, festivals, and colors of their faith disappeared almost overnight. Priests, artisans, and workers were forced to move to Akhenaten, where life was harsh and the sun unforgiving. Many died constructing temples that were later abandoned. Yet amid that suffering, some left behind letters and songs praising the beauty of Aten's light, proof that even in chaos, faith can find new forms. Modern historians see Akhenaten as a paradox, a man both ahead of his time and trapped by his own vision. He dreamed of unity under one god, but broke the unity of his nation to achieve it. One Egyptologist described it simply: he reached for the heavens and lost the earth beneath his feet. Source: Dr. Zahi Hawass. Lecture 2016. In today's world, his story feels familiar. When leaders blend divine authority with human power, history warns us what follows: control, isolation, and collapse. Akhenaten's tale reminds us that belief can inspire greatness, but when claimed as personal ownership, it can also destroy civilizations. We've seen a pharaoh who called himself a god. We've seen a kingdom divided by faith, a city swallowed by the desert, and a name almost erased from time. But one question remains: was Akhenaten a prophet misunderstood, or a ruler who played God and lost? Today, archaeologists are still unearthing secrets from Akhenaten's lost city. New DNA studies link his remains, found in tomb K555, to Tutankhamun, though not all experts agree the mummy is truly his. Source: Egyptian Antiquities. Authority: 2020. Confidence level: medium digital reconstructions. Now let us walk virtually through Akhenaten's temples, giving the world its first full view of what his utopia might have looked like. Source: Smithsonian 3D Archive, 2023. Confidence level: high. Future excavations may finally uncover the lost tomb of Akhenaten or new inscriptions revealing his final years. If found, they could rewrite one of the oldest chapters of human faith. Confidence level: low but growing with each discovery. Akhenaten's voice may have faded from stone, but his echo still reaches across millennia, a reminder that no human can hold the light of the gods for long. History remembers him not just for what he claimed, but for what his people lost trying to believe it. If you found this story compelling, our next documentary, The Pharaoh Who Vanished Without a Tomb, explores the mystery of Egypt's missing kings and the secrets still buried beneath the Valley of the Kings. Until then, remember, every civilization that says "I am eternal" eventually meets the desert's silence.